Anyway, there was a YouTuber either a few weeks ago or a couple months ago was talking about a theory with the plot for Genshin Impact, saying that he believes the stories between the Traveler and the Traveler's sibling, whichever you choose, takes place 500 years apart from each other. How he came to that? He had a good explanation. Personally, I do not think that's the case. I do think they're all happening around the same time. So, the way I see it is the Traveler's sibling got corrupted after being attacked by the unknown goddess. Another theory around that as well is that people believe that Paimon is the unknown god or unknown goddess. Just,
solidify.
you know,
By royal decree.
out of it kind of thing.
Dumpty dumpty poo. Dumpty dumpty poo. La la la.
Order guide you.
The Wrath of the Rock. Oh, that one's not done yet. Okay. So, let's take care of this one, and we'll continue the story. Wait. I can't continue the story yet. There are more things to harm. Slimes? No. We're gonna pop some slimes real quick. Then we'll continue on. Do I have your attention yet? There are many things that fueled her, but right now, why are you still here? I'm talking about this slime, not you. Ah, that takes care of that. Well, anyway, so there is a running theory that Paimon is somehow kind of like a sealed version of the unknown goddess. It could be the case, but I do believe a lot of everything of my theory still has a lot to do with Snezhnaya and the fact they forcefully took the Gnosis from Venti. Spoilers, by the way, spoilers for those who haven't gone through the entire story. So, if you look at the dialogue, it doesn't seem like the Fatui had anything to do with what happened with Storm Terror and Venti. Or Barbados, however you want to look at them. They saw Storm Terror, or I'm brain farting on Storm Terror's original name. Dvalin, yeah, Dvalin. So the idea is, it's very obvious that Dvalin was corrupted and became Storm Terror way before the Fatui existed. Oh, you really want to do this? Okay. We're going to have an arrow fight? Okay. We're going to play it like whack-a-mole. It's over. I have the high ground. What's up? Oh. There. All right. Enjoy your shopping. Avoid the ragers. And I hope everything goes well for you. Anywho. So. Because Dvalin was corrupted before the Fatui likely existed, which is, I think they said it was 300 or, it was either 100 or 300 years that Dvalin had been corrupted and came into being Storm Terror. The Fatui saw Storm Terror as a threat. And another bit of hint at this is if you have done, in fact, I'm going to go here. If you did these story quests that would originally be here, once you reached adventure rank 40, you'd be able to do the one for Tartaglia, or Child. I don't like to say, I'll just say Tartaglia, it's just easier. If you do his story, he will actively say that the Abyss Order is also an enemy of the Fatui and Shneznia. That gives you a lot of information. They forcefully took the Gnosis only after Dvalin was defeated. They were actively in the pursuit of saying Dvalin or Storm Terror is a threat. Because, well, he was working for the Abyss Order for a while and been corrupted. Being able to forcefully take the Gnosis from Venti/Barbados was honestly an easier thing to do, because even Venti mentioned that he was a weaker god because their power and the amount of power the Archons have is dependent on how heavily they are worshipped by the areas they reside. And being that Venti is the god of freedom in the wind, wasn't involved much in, as, in fact, I'm going to go here. You're going to realize, I'm going to go to Mr. Mr. Tasty right here. I'm going to go to his voice lines, and you have all the abouts, and Venti is listed right here. The dialogue that he has tells you he hates Venti's drinking problem. Venti's an alcoholic, and I guess when he drinks, he just makes music, gives music a bad name. I'm going to start it, but then I'm going to immediately cut it. And if people ask to hear it, I'll play it. But he really doesn't like the smell of wine, and he doesn't like drunks. And that's what he considers Venti to be, as a drunk. Going on, being that Venti is Barbados, the god of freedom and wind, of Mondstadt, and one of the original 7 Archons. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm obviously not gonna click that, Onyx. But Venti is never around and worshipped less and less because he resides over Mondstadt, the city of freedom. So they're free to do whatever they want. He was a weaker Archon because he wasn't as heavily focused on by his people. Not to mention he was an aloof moron, so to say. Well, okay, saying he was an aloof moron is also not doing him much justice. He was being true to his name, but he was a drunkard, and people stopped following him less because he kept it a strict hands-off approach. So he was weaker, being that a Fatui Harbinger was able to take down an Archon and steal his Gnosis. And of course, again, this all comes from the explanation from Venti that he wasn't worshipped as heavily, which is where Archons get their power. Now let's turn to Mr. Gorgeous right here, who willingly gave up his Gnosis. And again, spoilers for those who have not completed the 1.1 story quests, that Zhongli, or Morak/Rex Lapis, was already alluding to the fact he'd been thinking and convinced to give up his Gnosis and his role as Archon of Liyue. That being said, the Fatui, there was no way they were going to be able to take down Rex Lapis, Morax, the god of contracts and earth of Liyue. He is a very powerful Archon. Or was. He's no longer an Archon because he gave that up. They got him into a contract so he could willingly get out of his ending contract. They needed to show that Liyue could survive without him. And they did just that. They created an elaborate plan that he was fully privy to. Under his rules, their agreements, they each followed the contract, kept Tartaglia out of the loop, because apparently Tartaglia is not very good at keeping that kind of secret, and he probably wouldn't have wanted to take part in it. So it makes you wonder, why are the Fatui busy gathering Gnosis of the 7 Archons? Are they going to go after the Electro Archon of I forgot the next place name. Pretty much this world's version of Japan is where you're going next, in terms of places with Archons. So, are they going to go after theirs, or are they going to try to do a trade or an alliance? Honestly, I think they're going to try to find a way to weaken their power, because that Archon, as listed and announced by Mr. Gorgeous right here, that they just gave a major ruling that anyone who gains a vision will be arrested. Something else also happened in the next nation to freak their Archon out so much that they're saying anyone with a vision must be detained. They're not giving out any more electrovisions. So anyone who has an electrovision has had it for at least no less than a year. But again, back to Snezhnaya. Why are they gathering all of these Gnosis? Why are they gathering the Gnosis of the Archons? My theory is that it's the Traveler's sibling. That if you finish the quest to save Dvalin and make him well again, treat his illness, you will see the Traveler's sibling with the Abyss Order giving commands to them. That means the Traveler's sibling rules the Abyss Order, which is an enemy of everyone, an enemy of Snezhnaya as well, which means, honestly, I think that Snezhnaya was the first to be attacked by the Abyss Order, especially after the Traveler's sibling got involved. And let's just say there's a good indication that the Traveler's sibling has all their powers still. They weren't sealed like it was for your main character. So they attacked with the Abyss Order, having all the power they wanted at their disposal. That means there's a good indication Snezhnaya pretty much got sacked. Snezhnaya almost got wiped off the map. They were even their Archon was powerless against the Traveler's sibling, having vastly more power at their disposal than the Archon. This is obviously going to freak out leadership, your gods, your ruling class, the military, all of it. They're all going to freak out. And their immediate question is going to be, how are we going to combat a power we are powerless against? And they get the idea, we need the power of all 7 Gnosis. We need the power of all of them in order to combat this. So they're gathering all of this up, and there are indications that they are using inklings of the powers of such Gnosis, being Cruel Legacy with Tartaglia, being able to use 2, and being confused as to why the Traveler can use more than one vision element without having a vision. He had to use Cruel Legacy, and his main element obviously being Hydro means he's using the Cruel Legacy to use Electro. And being confused or surprised that the Traveler can. So the jig is up. Now they are aware there is another person running around Teyvat that can use powers without a vision. This word is getting out, and it's freaking other people out a lot. I also see a Sealy over there. I want it. So their only thought process is, some of these Archons are not going to give up their Gnosis willingly to combat this major threat to all the land that wants to wipe out humanity. And the question is, the unknown goddess probably corrupted the Traveler's sibling, got it in their head they need to use their powers to invoke the will of the destruction of humanity. So Snezhnaya is just, they're doing all of the wrong things for the right reasons. It might sound a little strange, but really, it makes sense, even with reflection of real-world events where entire nations have come across a threat that they felt absolutely powerless to. So they use every form of either taking from other nations that are weaker, or wheeling and dealing like they did with the Geo Archon. And now I need this for right now. So they made deals with Archons that are obviously they're too powerful to just go up and fight. But with someone like Venti, they're obviously strong enough to take down because he's kind of hapless. I'll take care of those in a moment. So wouldn't it be fair to say the chances are that Snezhnaya was the first attacked by the Abyss Order, and they need all that power to take that on. So later on, as you build up your own power, as your main character being Traveler, after that's all discovered, they're either going to see you as a possible threat because that's your sibling, or they're going to ask you to help them. And it's obvious through Tartaglia and some bits even through Signora bearing no threatening will toward your character, and Tartaglia actually wants to be your friend and wants to, have rematches, fair fights with you. That says they bear no ill will toward the Traveler, but they sure as heck bear ill will toward whoever attacked them.
This is order.
By royal.
So I think what's going to happen by the time you go to Inazuma, I figured it out, it was Inazuma. Excuse me. Is you're going to see a lot more of that playing out, where Inazuma's even trying to consolidate their own power to prevent it from getting into the wrong hands. Where'd the other one go?
By royal decree.
Let's get rid of this one. If anyone has any other ideas for how the plot's rolling out, that's genuinely that's how I truly think it's going to roll out, because that's how much of it has already played out. I want your stuff.
Let this.
Oh, you had a shield? That's cute.
Solidify.
Poke, 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 poke. It's extremely possible that's not how the plot's going to roll out. But how everything has rolled out thus far, it's telling me that's exactly how the plot will roll out. And unfortunately, a lot of it is because we've seen these kinds of plots in stories and reality for centuries, millennia, where an existential threat causes us to take drastic measures, which is where you get the old term of, I did all of the wrong things for the right reasons. I mean, heck, that same plot, that same similar plot of, I need to do all these messed up things for the right reason of what I think is right. Heck, the movie Zootopia did the same exact dang thing. I mean, how many plots? I mean, I almost want to say Helen of Troy had a similar aspect to some degree. Maybe not Helen of Troy, but there are tons of stories, like making allies with people you'd think you'd never be allies with, or becoming enemies or hurting people because you feel you have to. These kinds of things have always happened in stories and history, and you're seeing the same kind of thing. Traveler and Sibling have powers that are an absolute threat to any single nation. It's going to be impossible for these nations to team up with each other with their Archons who absolutely hate each other. I mean, Mr. Handsome right here hates Venti. Venti's a drunkard, doesn't give a damn about anything, except for his friend. I want to pet the dragon. Well, everyone, thank you very much.
Osmanthus wine tastes the
Thank you, everyone, for sticking around for all of this. I hope you enjoyed the theory. If you have any other theories of your own about how Genshin Impact is going to play out over the many months and hopefully even years to come, I would love to hear your input. I want to hear what you think is going to be happening in Genshin Impact. This has been an incredible game so far. Well fleshed out. The plot thickens. How about that? Leave a comment down below if you want to share your thoughts, or you can even tell me that if anyone else has a video up, you can go ahead and you can come onto our Discord. It's going to be on the link down below. And of course, the video that you see that has been pre-recorded actually. It came from my live Twitch stream on Friday, December 18th. So that's where all this came from. So if you want to follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/unfamiliartrio, you'll find that on the link down below as well. So if you want to join the Discord, welcome on in. We love to be around some more Genshin Impact players.
Osmanthus wine.
Shush. I understand you really want that Osmanthus wine, sir, but you just went on a big old rant about how much you do not like Venti's drinking. So don't you start on that, buddy. Don't start on that. Anyway, please, we would be more than happy to have you join us on our Discord, or even just watch our antics on twitch.tv. In the meantime, leave a comment down below, hit the like, subscribe, and we'll see you around for the next Genshin Impact upload. Take it easy, everyone.